welcome to Thruxton and the second round of the HSCC historic Formula 4 Championship. It was 2 weeks ago when the championship started at Donington Park, and it was Ben Sims that took quite a dominant victory around the national circuit. It was Max Bartel and Michael O'Brien that completed the podium, and it's that pair of drivers that will sit on the front row for this race. It's Michael O'Brien, the novice, that sits there on the front row. The two Merlin Mark 20s, it's Max Bartel will sit alongside him for this run. The 124.269 around the Thruxton circuit that Michael O'Brien did, and that gives an average speed of over 100 miles per hour. Max Bartel in second, he was only 6 tenths down at 124.881 in his Merlin, and then in the third on the grid it will be Ben Sims in his JMO JMR7. Sims doing a lap of 124.991. Sims the championship leader, of course, after just the one race. He'll be looking to take the win. And fourth is our guest driver this weekend, Tiff Nadell, back in his car that he raced in 1972, 42 years ago here at Thruxton. He took his first win. This was in a Lotus 69. He's back in the car this weekend. He set a time of 124.998. We expect O'Brien, Bartel, Sims and Nadell to be a very close competition around this Thruxton circuit. Really good for Slipstream. More drivers who may well be in next, fifth place on the grid. Stuart Baird in his Merlin Mark 11A, and he did a time of 1 minute 25.515. Baird wasn't quite able to go with the front group at Donington. He'll be looking to do that here at Thruxton. Will Nuttall did qualify 6th. He won't be starting the Jamin T2, I'm afraid. Qualified only after 4 laps, and he's had to pull out of it. There is your grid on your screen as I've been running you through it. 7th, that's Brian Morris in the Lola T202. Petty Kaveri, Andrew Mansell and Kevin Stantz. That is your top 10 here at Thruxton. Expect a Formula Ford slipstreaming thriller around the Thruxton circuit. 20 minutes in store of this, the quickest circuit in the UK. 2 races this weekend. This is the first race taking place on Saturday afternoon to finish the day off here at the HSCC. Meeting the lights out with races. A good start from Ben Sims for the second row of the grid. He tries to squeeze between Bartel and O'Brien. Can't do that, so that's allowed. Look at that, Stuart Baird, who makes a good start. He's trying to go for third out of Allard as they head down towards the complex for the first time. And it's side by side for the lead between Bartel and O'Brien. It's O'Brien that's got the inside line, Bartel around the outside, and Brian just losing in front. It's 3 wide to third. Tiff Nadell on the inside here. He's having to back out of it. Ben Sims, who swoops around the outside. Getting there as well as Brian Morris as they go now onto the faster down towards Noble. It's the top 3 already making a break. It's novice driver O'Brien that leads. Bartel there in second. Sims in third as they turn into Noble for the first time. In the 4th position it's Stuart Baird, but Tiff Nadell looking for a way through. Now they keep their foot flat to the floor around here, and there's Nadell diving up on the inside of his load. So no, he's got to go after the top 3. If he lets them break away, he'll break the toe and he won't be able to go with them. And now we can run aboard with Sims because the 2 leaders go side by side down towards Church Corner now, and it's Max Bartel that goes through. He takes the race lead as they head now down towards the chicane. It's O'Brien down to second. Sims there just hitting the curve, the car sliding out. Now they go down towards that chicane. What can Ben Sims do here? Not quite close enough, I don't think, as they go hard on the brakes. Into the right, left, right of the chicane. And O'Brien goes back into the lead, so Michael O'Brien leads away then, so as they complete the first lap of the race. It's Michael O'Brien, the novice driver, that leads. In second, Bartel. Third is Sims. Sims looks up on the inside as they head into Allard Corner. Can he get ahead of Bartel? No, Bartel swoops across the front of his car, so Bartel stays in second. It's O'Brien, though, that leads. They head down towards the complex then for the second time of this race, and Tiff Nadell's going with them, so it's 4 for the lead. They turn into the right-hander there. Bartel has got Sims right on his gearbox as they head through the corner, but Sims can't find a way through. Sims also racing in the historic Formula 4 2000 Championship this weekend. Stuart Baird there in 5th, trying to go with the top 4 then. In 5th position is that car of Baird. Then it's 6th is Andrew Mansell, 7th Brian Morris, 8th is James Buckton, in 9th Kevin Stantz, and 10th is the 56th car of Roland Svensson. We go back on board with Ben Sims as Bartel launches an assault again, turning into Church Corner. The 2 cars leading there, came a bit close. They could have clashed wheels there, but O'Brien realised that Bartel was on the inside. Now Sims carrying the speed through the corner, and Michael O'Brien now having to defend hard to Ben Sims, but then they head down towards the chicane. O'Brien sits in the slipstream of Bartel, so he goes to the outside for the braking zone. Sims sits behind the two of them. Sims the much more experienced driver in this trio. And look, the two leaders outbrake themselves ever so slightly. Sims can't make anything of that, but he knows this first half of the race, just staying with the two leaders is the crucial thing to do. Down towards Allard then. Turn through the right-hander. O'Brien back in the lead, I think. As they head down, Ben Sims really now trying to find a way past Bartel, or is he defending? Because Tiff Liddell trying to come around the outside in the Lotus there. So we've got three different marks of Formula Ford. We've got the two Merlins at the front, the Jomo of Ben Sims and the Lotus of Tiff Liddell, and O'Brien starting to break away now because Bartel has got Ben Sims very much in his mirrors as they head up towards Noble. And now look at that, Sims looking to the inside. You can see there, taking a much tighter line than Max Bartel, but he can't quite squeeze his way ahead of the Merlins. The two Mark 20s of both O'Brien and Bartel continue to lead the way, and it's Jomo. We're on board with him once again. Ben Sims providing some great footage aboard the JMR7 around this Thruxton circuit. Again going down towards Church Corner. It's again Bartel who's looking to the inside line. He takes a lead and he slices up on the inside of O'Brien, and Sims using the speed through the corner, trying to back alongside O'Brien, but O'Brien using the slipstream of Bartel pulls clear of Sims and goes back to the inside line. So it's side by side with the leaders. Ben Sims was thinking about going in the middle of them, decided against it. It's O'Brien that goes back to the front, and it's Sims going to get second around the outside of Bartel here. Bartel chops his nose off there, so they can't across the line. It is Michael O'Brien. You can see the top four really breaking away. Tim Liddell can't quite find a way past Ben Sims once again. There's Stuart Baird. He was having a bit of a lonely race there in his fifth. Brian Morris is up to sixth. It's James Buckton in seventh position. It's Matty Kaviri just ahead of Andrew Mansell in the battle for eighth position as they turned their way through Allard. But it's Ben Sims on the defensive now because Tiff Liddell looking for a way around the outside. The fifth gear presenter there in that fourth position, ex-Formula 1 driver, touring car racer, sports car driver as well. There's Andrew Mansell there, going up on the inside of Patrick Kaviri. More battles behind them, and Kaviri tries to come back at Mansell as they head onto the fast stuff. You can see parked at the side of the road there, one of the super touring cars retiring for the earlier race in the day. So now we can ride aboard the number 90 car. This is the Eldon Mark 8 of Daniel Stantz. He's trying to go round the outside here, and I think he may want to get it done to go ahead of Roland Spencer through Noble. Yes, he does it. That's a very brave move around the outside of the Marlin Mark 17. So aboard then with Daniel Stantz, the number 90 car, second of the novice drivers. Well and truly in the mid-pack, just getting himself ahead of Spencer, as you saw there. Just inside the top 10 this battle, heading now down towards chicane. There's a few Eldons in the field actually. Stantz has got James Buckton, the other Eldon up the field, and getting very tight for the chicane, and Spencer goes back through using all the curb in there with Stantz. Now this is a replay on board with Bartel. He fell a bit behind, we saw last time, to Michael O'Brien, but he slipstreamed his way back into the lead, as you can see there. So it's Bartel ahead of O'Brien, and Tiff Liddell's gone ahead of Ben Sims. So Sims down to fourth, Liddell up to third. So they go back onto the really, really quick part of Thruxton. 1600cc cars. Foot flat to the floor, and you see there Spencer on the back of Andrew Mansell now. They head off for a trip down the countryside. Right aboard. up. This is a 5-6 car battle. Inside of the and slow. Yes, probably qualifying this morning. Maybe those problems are coming back. It's 4 for the lead though, and it's O'Brien that goes to the inside of Bartel. The two leaders side by side, and it's O'Brien going around the outside. He takes the lead. He goes ahead of Bartel. Tiff Liddell seeing the opportunity. He comes up on the inside, and he muscles his way through. Bartel on the grass, and the Merlin spins there. Max Bartel there off the circuit. He will be able to rejoin. 4th is Baird going to possibly get past. Yes, there goes Baird. Let's have a replay then on board with Sims. So you can see O'Brien swoop around the outside because that tighter line. Bartel's slow, so Tiff Liddell sees the opportunity, dives up on the inside, but then doesn't really leave Bartel any room on the exit of the corner. Let's have a look at a closer view. Let's look on board with Bartel. Just left the door open ever so slightly, which Michael O'Brien went for, then swooped around the outside with that tighter line. Bartel was slow for the corners, and Liddell squeezed up on the inside. Didn't really leave any room for Bartel on the exit of the corner. Very hard move there from Liddell. So let's have a look how that's left the order then. It's O'Brien that leads. Second is Sims, and Liddell looking all over the back of him. So Sims has got ahead of Liddell since that moment last time by when we were looking through those replays. So I think Bartel, where's he rejoined? Let's have a look on our timing screens here. I think he's 5th. Just behind Stuart Baird. They'll be looking to try and get back ahead of the Mark 11. Which Baird in, as in the Svensson, and Kevin stands that goes side by side, and Kevin makes his way from the inside there. Getting well in the mix as well. His youngster Dan Stands, a novice driver, and just behind him Nick Ball. It's great battling in the middle of the pack. It's Ball kind of come around the outside. Can't do it. Dan Stands asserts his authority on that inside line for the Noble corner. Stays in front. And now, look at this. Up on the inside of Svensson. He did this earlier in the race, and he slides his way through. Dan Stands right from the edge here. Really quite sideways there. Holds on to it. Sits in the slipstream of the car in front. I think that's Kevin, isn't it? Kevin Stands in front of him. Okay, through Church Corner. One of my more famous corners. The Thruxton circuit. Car's right on the edge there. Now, up the hill. Up towards the chicane. We haven't braked for a long time. Not since the complex, and then heavy on the brakes for the chicane. I hope the brakes are still there when it comes to that point. And Stands there, gets the car a bit too sideways this time. The car rotates, so he'll be dropping right down the order. The cars so closely bunched today at Thruxton. He'll be losing a lot of positions there. It's Michael O'Brien that leads, but it's Ben Sims, the multiple-time race winner, the ex-champion in historic Formula Fords, is right on his tail. Tiff Liddell there as well. You're saying 42 years ago he won here in Formula Ford, and Bartel has got ahead of Stuart Baird there. So that's a change for 4th. The battle for 6th going well between Brian Morris and James Buckton. And a bit of a gap back to 8th. It's Patrick Kaviri in that position, just ahead of Kevin Stands, where Dan was there. A bit of a gap now back to Roland Svensson, and up on the inside of him has a look as Nicholas Ball can't hide away through. It's Andrew Mansell just behind the pair of them. Svensson and the Merlin. That is Nicholas Ball. Now we ride on board with Ben Sims, who's challenging round the outside into the chicane. It's Michael O'Brien up on the inside. O'Brien's going to assert his authority on that inside line then. Yes, he does. Oh, he gets it a bit wrong there and goes for a spin, I think. Michael O'Brien then spins out the chicane. So it's Ben Sims that leads, now ahead of Tiff Liddell, so it's down to 2 in the leading scrap. So, what was a 4-car battle just a few laps ago, now it's a 2-lap battle. Bartel being squeezed off the road. Michael O'Brien perhaps just pushed into a mistake, and now Tiff Liddell comes around the outside of Ben Sims, headed into the complex. Can't find a way through. Ben Sims now. Slightly different race now, there's just the 2 of them in it. See how each of them very experienced drivers. Ben Sims extremely experienced in this championship now. He's the man to beat really in historic Formula Ford. bit further back in the pack. Have a look what's going on here. It's Andrew Mansell ahead of Alex Meek. We go back to the leaders because Tiff Liddell is challenging. Liddell in the Lotus goes through then to the inside line into the chicane. So it's Tiff Liddell that leads now. Ben Sims down to second. Power up across the line. Down towards Allard. Ben Sims having none of it. He comes back on the inside of Liddell here. And he goes back through. So Sims leads again. So Ben Sims leads the way. Down to second. Goes Liddell then. But Sims leads. Heading down towards the complex. Let's ride on board now with Kevin Stantz. He's having a strong race. Went inside the top 10. I think that's Petri Kaviri. We're chasing, heading down into the complex then. This is where we go right. Left. Board with Stantz in the Merlin Mark 20. One of the most popular vehicles in this championship. And we go red flags here at Thruxton, and that's going to bring an early end to the race. And on count back, it's Tiff Liddell that wins the race just by 600 a second. He only led the race by led it for 200 metres, but he takes the win. It's Ben Sims who gets second position. Michael O'Brien in third after that spin. Maxim Bartelu, him and O'Brien really led a lot at the beginning of the race, so they finished third and fourth. Stuart Baird in fifth, and Brian Morris completes the top six. More racing tomorrow, Thruxton, here on the Easter Revival weekend.
Pick up points on the front.
Okay, Michael.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Novice winner again, and very close to being at the front. Well,
yeah. Thanks very much.
You'll be out in a couple of weeks.